Good morning on May 14th, 2021. It's Friday, so it's traditional after a month. Walk around the lake day, walk around Wascana Lake, that is. First day, I'm doing it in shirt sleeves though, because it's like plus 10 to start. It's supposed to go up to 23 today, Celsius, as is, of course, obviously. It's just lovely right now, so it should be a nice walk around the lake. Then it's back to the Tangled Stars, my current novel, which I did another 3,000 plus words on yesterday. So it's moving along nicely now after I was kind of stalled for a while. So we'll head to the underpass first to get under the Albert Street Bridge and then around the lake. Cloudless blue sky, pleasant temperature. Should be a nice walk. The Tangled Stars is contracted at 150,000 words, but that's just a number pulled out of the air. I think it might be shorter than that. Can't tell yet. I'm still in the solar system, and there's a bunch of stuff that happens after I leave the solar system, so we'll see when I get there how long it takes. Writing is weird that way. Somebody watering their yard, looks nice in the sunlight. Thought I might see a rainbow, but I guess it wasn't at quite the right angle. All right, Angus Boulevard. Oof, watch those steps down. That's how I hurt my knee the other day, I think. Missing a step down because I was doing this instead of paying attention to where I was walking. This weekend I'll get some more Kickstarter stuff done. I hope to get the ebooks out from the, got a little sprinkle on me there, from the 2 ebook extravaganzas I assembled, ebooks from various authors, including me. Some people get one, some people get the other, some people get both. So they go into special drop boxes, and I provide the link to those who have access. Not a terribly secure system, but I'm not terribly worried about whether somebody's not supposed to found out. It's not the end of the world. Ebooks are great for Kickstarter rewards because there's no shipping cost. And they're a great way to for people to discover new authors, assuming they're ebook readers. I think everybody must be, because that's the way I read most of my books these days. Although I'm not currently, I'm reading a print book. I'm actually rereading Harry Potter. First time I've ever read it to myself and not out loud. I've read it twice out loud from start to finish. But it's different reading to yourself, so I'm enjoying it. It goes much faster too. Especially those first 2 books, they're short. It's partly because we've been rewatching the movies and it's interesting to compare the 2. See exactly what the choices were. through the underpass. The graffiti pass. See how busy shoreline is today. There have been days. Oh well, there's one thing I've got to watch out for. They're watering the grass, so I might get sprayed a little bit here and there. They don't point it at the sidewalks, but it doesn't stop it from being there. Now yesterday, the Aeration Fountain was going here in the afternoon, but I don't see it at the moment. So maybe it's turned on later. You can see the one over there that I walked around last week on the far side of the shore. Way over there, you might see it sticking up. Of course, there's ducks. Legislative building over there. Oh, there's the fountain. It's just further along than I thought. I think they've taken down our one-way signs. They never made any sense. No, I take that back. It's just that guy was ignoring them. Which, frankly, I don't blame him, but I'm a good little boy, even when I disagree with it. I think it's silly. Here we go. So that fountain runs there all summer. And again, it's to keep water in the lake, or air, I should say, oxygen in the lake for fish. And you can see now, you can see both of them. If you look way over on the other side, the other one's poking up over there too. If you happen to be watching live on Facebook or YouTube, drop me a note. Nobody said hi yesterday, but I saw when I got home that people had been watching, so I shouldn't read too much into that. I might not be able to see it right away anyway with the sun in my eyes right now, but as we keep going, that will change. Look that way, you get the fountain in the... See, I know I can zoom in. There we go. Be careful though, you touch the wrong spot on the screen and you lose the feed because there's an end button up in the corner. I did that once before. I was trying to do something else and instead I touched the end button. Lovely along here again, as I always mention, the Excalibur is in the water just this side of that island there, based on my books, the Shards of Excalibur series. That's where it ends up. Bit of a spoiler that, but not really. See little baby geese now out there swimming around with their parents. I'll follow the path this time instead of cutting through to the side here. Especially since that guy's going that way. He's going this way. I don't know what he's doing. I like the morning light. Makes interesting shadows through the trees. Gives you that I could be in the mountains feeling, except for the complete lack of hills. Not quite complete. Maybe this weekend I'll walk over by the Science Center in Douglas Park and go up the hill over there. Be an interesting one. The Conservatory of Performing Arts is over there. CBC is over there behind the trees. But we're here. Again, Excalibur is right out there somewhere at the end of my book. Books. Song of the Sword, Twist of the Blade, Lake in the Clouds, Cave Beneath the Sea, and Door into Fairy are the 5 shards of Excalibur books. Well, there's a truck on the path, so I will take the next shortcut. And there's my first unstable internet connection sign. So if you are watching live, I'm probably breaking up right now, and you may not even be hearing what I'm saying. But if you're watching the recording, you won't notice anything. For some reason there's a lot of noise coming from Willow Island. Somebody's over there because there's a boat over there which I haven't seen before on these rocks. Part of the getting the park cleaned up after the winter, I guess. I don't know what they're doing exactly. So again, these are the rocks in the part of the lake where Shards of Excalibur starts up. Lady of the Lake shows up in this patch of water here. Tells my main character that she's now the Lady of the Lake, and she and Wally Knight, a younger boy, slightly younger, who happens to be there, have the quest of finding the scattered shards of Excalibur all around the world before Merlin can, and reforging the sword before he can, because he'll use it to take over the world, basically, and then attack his own home realm of Fairy. And as you can tell by the fact, and as you would probably expect, they do succeed. Otherwise it'd be a very grim and unsatisfactory series. But it all starts back there, that little patch of water between those rocks and Willow Island. Whatever they're doing over there. It spoils the quiet walk along here. I smell smoke. Actually, I think I see smoke in the air. I don't know where that's coming from. Don't hear sirens or anything. Could be a building fire, could be something else. It's like hazy here, but I can't see where it's coming from. Just a lot of people with wood fireplaces going, I suppose. Seems unusual on a fairly warm morning, though. Oh, there's a mama goose and 2, 3, 4, 3 anyway, baby geese. There they are. Mother and babies. YouTube aborted. Okay, so I'm going to stop this feed and restart immediately. Okay, I'm immediately back. YouTube dropped, so this is part 2. Again, if you're watching the recording, I will have edited that together, but you will see a momentary blurring or something there where I put the two halves together, and that's why. Never happened before along here. At least I saw the message. YouTube has failed and I haven't seen the message, and then the live stream just ends for if anybody's watching it. Still getting unstable internet though, so I don't know if it'll stay up or not. Nope. Almost got sprinkled on there. There's the ledge over there. If it fails again, I'll just let it stay dead and just keep recording for the recording. So, if you're just discovering it now, welcome to my walk around the lake that I do every Friday. I walk every day in Regina and live stream it and put recordings on YouTube. So that's Wascana Lake we're walking around right now. Saskatchewan Legislative Building over there. Through the trees. Quite still this morning, but not completely. It's not a perfect mirror image of the ledge and the water there. Oh, got sprinkled on again without, I wasn't paying attention. Because yes, the sprinklers are running this morning. I'll step here this time. Sometimes I go down closer to the water. Or will I? It is more interesting down there. Oh, all right. I'll go down there. Past that barrier. Walk down past the other aeration fountain, as I did last week. Goose sound asleep there. Oh, I know what I can do to be different. I'll go around to the left here and go up the steps. Instead of staying down here, up to the observation platform up there, just to be different. So again, there's this aeration fountain has its own little pool. connects to the lake through that footbridge over there that I've often walked across. This time we're going to go up here. Which offers a nice little observation platform, so you can do a panorama here. You got the city over there, right around the lake. Saskatchewan Legislative Building. There's the footbridge. And there's that Aeration Fountain. And that's Wascana Lake on a May morning. There's bugs out here. Another sign it's been really warm. Supposed to go to 23 today. All right, keep moving. It's Wascana Center in front of us. There's a lovely enclosed garden behind it. That's basically well, there's an art, I think there's still an art gallery in there. But that's basically where the offices are for the management of the Wascana Center. All of this is Wascana Center. Then it has different parks inside it. So people tend to call it just Wascana Park, but there's actually, like the other side is actually Lakeshore Park. And I don't know how many of them there are exactly, but Wascana Center encompasses a lot. It is in fact one of the, if not the largest urban park. I think it's the largest in North America. It's larger than Central Park in area, but not as nicely defined. Much more sprawling, spread out along the creek and the lake. This is the marina here. It has a restaurant in it called Bar Willow. Used to be called the Willow on Wascana. Which we've eaten many times. Has a wonderful deck. It's great for birthdays and things like that. Depending on the weather and depending on the bugs, but there you go. This isn't actually the restaurant side, but that's the main thing I think of as being in there. If you have found this second live stream, never mind, I just got the unstable internet warning, so no point in talking when I'm probably buffering. Popular parking lot if you're planning to do something around the lake. There's always people with dogs. That group of guys, I think I've encountered them before on walks around the lake. As I started to say before I got the bad connection warning, oh, there's somebody getting into a canoe. If you've discovered this second feed, because my first one failed on YouTube anyway, maybe not on Facebook. When I kill one, I kill the other one. Oh, we do have to go on Pine Island. The waterfall's running. Oh, bugs. Anyway, if you happen to be there live, let me know. You can see the waterfall. Oh, and there's warning again. You can see the waterfall over there on Pine Island. We'll walk under that today. Hasn't been up before when I've been this way. Oh, good grief. I don't know if you can see them. I'm walking through these clouds of gnats. I don't think there were mosquitoes. Of course, I went that way, was that last weekend? Or the weekend before, and walked to the University of Regina. I'll do that again sometime. Or possibly start even closer to the university. I only saw a little bit of it. I mostly got stuck in the, what I'd call the quad, but they apparently call the academic green. Although, all the buildings are connected and they were all locked, so once you were in there, there's only basically the way I had come in. But I didn't want to go out the way I had come in, so I looked around and found stairs that took me up and out. But I barely touched, you know, showing the buildings of the campus. So I should go down there again sometime. So there's a big fence here, and they're tearing up the ground on the other side in straight lines, which one would think means pipes of some sort. Yeah, there's a length of pipe laid there, so they're either putting something in or replacing something, I would guess. Yeah, there are trenches there with PVC pipe strung along. So another place where you don't get a nice quiet walk around the lake, listen to the birds. Around the lake and listen to the equipment. Clearly laying pipe of some sort over there. I agree. Very noisy. Better at pigeon. Yes, we'll definitely go over to Pine Island and walk under the waterfall today. If you're watching live, this will be the first for Walking in Regina with Ed Willett. Hopefully it's not too wet under there. Depends on what the wind's doing. There's not much wind, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I have to go over this footbridge. Pine Island, because it's planted with pines, for the most part. Hammering noises even from clear across the lake, so it's just not a very quiet morning. Go disturb the birds. There's always lots of birds over here because there's There's not always a lot of people over here. Oh, here comes the guy in the boat coming across down the lake, heading to go into the bridge. Always lots of birds here. Barely even moved, that one, when I walked by him. Didn't hiss at me, at least. First time I came over here, I got hissed at by two geese sitting right there in that corner. That building is used for mostly when they have competitions, like rowing competitions in the lake. We hosted the Western Canada Summer Games. I don't think it was the Canada Summer Games. Shortly after the lake was deepened. Well, that sound there is the sound of the waterfall being generated. It's not a natural waterfall, of course. Over there is the marina where we walked by. And over here, you can walk under this waterfall. Ta-da! Slippery when wet, says the sign, and it is quite noisy under there too. So again, that's part of the aeration system for the lake. The deepest part of the lake is over here. I think they deepened it to, if I remember right, 9 meters, about 30 feet if you're not a trick person. Which is deep enough it doesn't freeze to the bottom in the winter, unlike shallower parts, so it's a place where fish can overwinter. Before that, before the deepening, if there were fish in the lake, they had to be restocked every year because the lake would freeze solid and that would be it. All right, leaving Pine Island. Let's view that direction. So yesterday I was over on the other side over there of this road and dipped into the park a little further up by the Totem Pole. A nice view this way too, with the city skyline in the distance. There's one more island called Spruce Island we'll be going by, and like Willow Island, which actually has barbecue picnic facilities on it, and Pine Island, which has that building and the waterfall and all that, and the pathway around it. Spruce Island is undeveloped and just left to be covered in bush for the birds and whatever else can swim there, I guess. It does not look inviting because the undergrowth is so thick It'd be almost impossible to get around on, I think. And there's nowhere to land either. So it would be difficult. And I don't know why you'd bother. I'm sure people have. So yes, I was just over there yesterday, walking in that area. Glad I didn't wear a sweater. Shirt sleeves is perfect. Could have worn shorts too, and I would have been fine. Unstable internet connection again. Just briefly that time. There it is again. But as far as I can tell, nobody's watching this live, so if you're hearing me say that, you're probably watching the recording. The odds are nobody's heard that, because people that do watch the recording usually only watch 10 or 15 minutes. Not complaining. The motivation is to keep me walking every day, less than entertaining the masses, because the masses, you know, come in single digits, so not much mass. I don't know how much entertainment there is either, although some people seem to like it. Again, this was all inspired by Walking Commuter, who's on YouTube. You can find him. And he live streams walks in Manhattan. Sometimes they are just his commute. And sometimes he goes for special walks because he makes money at it. People, he has enough followers that he can monetize his channel, and people can give him money as he walks. He'll get super chats and things like that. But I think you need 1,000 subscribers, and I have 61, so it could be a while, like never, before I make money doing it. Just there's a tree that's flowering, 2 trees flowering. Nice to see. Flowers don't last long around here when the trees flower. Usually we get, you know, the cherry blossoms will come out. It's lovely, and then there'll be a big wind and they're gone. And the cherries have not blossomed yet. But they'll be coming pretty soon, and the lilacs and all that good stuff. They'll get the garden in front of the legislative building will be planted, and that'll be worth a special walkthrough at some point. But keep walking with me and you'll see the seasons change, as you already have. I started in the snow. It was just starting to melt, and a couple of times I've been snowed on while I walked, and I went out in one really nasty snowstorm just to show what it was like. And seeing it start to green up now. Won't be too long till it's fully green in summer. We're only 5 weeks away from first day of summer, longest day of the year. So right now the morning light is higher still every time I come out, whereas in the wintertime it wouldn't even be light yet. So it's starting to get light, that's all. There's the totem pole. I made a point of stopping at it yesterday. Given by the, looked it up, it was given by the British Columbia government in 1971 to mark the centennial of British Columbia joining the Dominion of Canada as a province. And they gave 12 of those across the country, various cities. And this one, oh, what was his name? Frank Waldings, I think, was the sculptor's name, if I remember right. And then his son, in 2016, so not long ago, they removed it and he completely refurbished it. It had taken a beating from the elements. And it was, he had to, I think, put new wings on it and, of course, repaint it. So check out yesterday's walk, and you'll see where I go by it fairly late in the walk. There's that unstable internet warning again. Keeping an eye on it in case the YouTube feed goes down for the third time. Second time today. I'll stick to the path this time. Well, yesterday I went down that way because I wasn't really walking around the lake, so I avoided it. Haven't had any hellos. If you're there, say hi. I should see it. Didn't really stop and point out Spruce Island, but that's it. Just over there, behind the trees, coming into view through that gap. This is the memorial to the communist Russia's genocide of Ukrainians in the early 20th century under Stalin. There's a lot of Ukrainians in Saskatchewan. It's a very nice monument, an emaciated child as a marker of that. Lovely proof of just how wonderful communist regimes are. And yet there's people who seem to have a pining for them. I haven't walked along the path all the way for a while, so I think I'll do that today. I tend to cut across the legislative building. But today, I will stick to the path. There, of course, is the Connexious Art Center on the far side of the lake. Walked by it when I went to the university. Lots of these places where there are benches and then a bit of a view out between the trees like that. There's the Aeration Fountain over there that we walked by. I don't know if it has any sort of proper name other than that. You know, the so-and-so Memorial Fountain or something. I don't know. There it is over there, anyway. And still here, whatever they're doing on Willow Island is carrying all the way over here. Oh, lots of young geese crossing the road at the crosswalk. It can't all be. Well, there's more mothers on the other side, more geese on the other side. Good geese crossing at the crosswalk. I have to pull that little clip out and put it up separately, just for fun. course, there's the ledge over there. Fountain's still not going there. Fountain that used to be in Piccadilly Circus in London. That was a little close. Cyclists really should use bells, because if you're walking like this, you can't hear them coming. And if I turned to point just at that moment, I would have hit him across the throat. And he didn't even have his hands on the handlebars. Oh well. I can imagine that happening, but apparently he can't. But as I said yesterday, riders tend to have imagination about bad things happening. Oh, here's the guy in the canoe again. We've seen him 3 times now, and he was getting started when he went under the bridge. He's all the way over here. Geese doing their thing, leaving a wake behind them in the still water. Not a single hello today or yesterday. That's a little monument to the United Empire Loyalists, being an American by birth. The Loyalists were not somebody you wanted to honor. They were the bad guys. Up here, they're seen differently. That's history for you. See the fountain over there that we walked by early on. So we're getting close. The bridge is coming up there. There's downtown over there. Usually cars and people along here in front of the ledge. See the whole length of the Albert Street Bridge there, with the Saskatchewan flags flying on it. And then up here, of course, to our left, we'll pause and take a look at the ledge from further back than we have sometimes. Find the center. Should be right where the statues line up. There we go. There's the ledge. See if I can zoom it in even. Ta-da! Be much prettier once the flowers are in the garden. The other reason not to do that is there is wide angle on this, and I don't want to get into wide angle, but it's hard to tell if I am or not. Of course, I could set it a little less wide angle to start with, you know. Well, it doesn't want to move at all now. Anyway, there was the ledge. Even the normal lens is pretty wide angle on an iPhone compared to a, say, 28 millimeter. No, that would be a wide angle. 50 millimeter on an SLR. I should know. I used one long enough as a newspaper photographer, but I barely use my SLR anymore. I have a digital one, of course, now. And sometimes, like if I'm going somewhere special, I want to use it to get better pictures, but you still take just as many on the iPhone because it's always there and not so cumbersome. Yeah, see? I don't know if I've zoomed it in, or if it was on wide angle and now it's not. We'll put it about there. Might be zoomed in a little bit, but that's okay for a change. Kind of matches more what I see. So again, the bridge is very long. But it's really a dam. Part of it is anyway. The creek would have come through here originally, and that's where the dam now holds it up and makes the lake, which is an entirely artificial body of water that has been there a very long time. It's been deepened twice. So last time we saw it, it was 2003 or 4, somewhere along there. Completely drained, dredged out. It was very strange to see this big hole in the ground in the middle of the city. But it was silting up because, of course, all that water comes in and the only way out is over here. So, of course, it was silting up and would eventually have just turned into a swamp. And now it's good for another century or something. So I don't expect to see the next deepening of Wascana Lake. Well, I will in my robot body, but not in my current body. Yeah, I think wherever I have it set now, which I think is not quite as wide angle as it was most of the walk, actually much more closely corresponds to what I see through my eyes. So things that disappear on the screen, it's just as they're going to my peripheral vision, kind of thing. Anyway, if it's a little wider, it's no big deal. I rarely zoom in for that very reason. Okay, I want to go this way. It's a bit fraught. Let's see what they're doing. They're not supposed to be sprinkling the sidewalk, but they do a little. Oh well, I'm sure I'll survive, even if I get a little water. This one may be the most problematic, as it's going a little bit onto the... Ah! Got hit from behind. Sneaky. Whew, now I'm slightly damp on my back, but I was anyway from sweating. That was a lot colder. Alright, back through the tunnel. Maybe I just got it back to where it was supposed to be after I zoomed. I don't know. Normally, using the iPhone itself, you can look and see if you're at 1x or 1.5 or whatever, because it does have a certain amount of actual zoom as opposed to digital zoom, plus the wide angle, but in the app here it doesn't show you that, so it's just a guess. Well, if you're going to say hello this morning, live, you're almost out of time. I'm almost home. This is, of course, the second live stream. The first one on YouTube failed about 17 minutes in, 16 or 17 minutes in. and I restarted. Facebook therefore restarted as well. If you're watching the recording, I will have edited them together. But nobody has said hello yet on the live stream today, so I don't know if anybody's even there. Morning.
Good morning.
Back up Angus Boulevard, back through the alley, back on the Angus Crescent, and we're home. Well, I'm home. I don't know where you are. Through the alley toward Devon School there, where Alice went to elementary school. Somebody coming through the alley behind me, that's annoying. Daisy 1 says the license plate. I thought of getting a personalized plate. We actually have one on an old car, which I haven't even renewed yet this year, but it needs to have work done to even start. It says 1W1, I think, if I remember right, or 1G1. And I think it's 1W1. I thought of getting one that said Hobbit. Hobbit's what I had on the back of my club jersey at university, because it sounds like Willett. But when I went looking, somebody actually has it, which is annoying. And if I had one more digit, I'd do what Robert Sawyer does in Ontario and have SF Rider, but that's one too many letters for a Saskatchewan plate, so I've stuck with non-vanity plates, despite my not inconsiderable level of vanity. Okay, more or less home, so goodbye. I will see you tomorrow.